He did a column on the best college football championships of the BCS era.
Here's, I guess, part 2 of
the last 2 years
of our mom and
playoff. And Alabama fans may not like this next conversation. Tide team that just won it all is not ranked very high. So we'll ask Bruce about that. Certainly one man's opinion, but a pretty knowledgeable one who's seen all these games. Bruce, always good to catch up. And
as you can see, smiling face and get your team.
We irritate all the
newish, but it is what it is.
Like what you've written. Let me ask you, just in terms of trying to put all this together. Obviously, you've seen these games. You have a good sense of history. Take us through the process.
Well, I think, you look at some of the paths that these teams took, and I think you see where they are at the end of the year compared to, their body of work. And I think just because somebody's not one of the top 5 teams of this era doesn't mean they're not very good. It just means that compared to, almost perfection or what some of these other teams have done, there's going to be a bottom and a middle missing. And I think when you look at this Alabama team, a couple of things stand out. First of all, I think it did have the best defensive line group, the deepest, most talented group we've seen of this era. The flip side of it was, the quarterback play was evolving. At the end of the year, Jacob Coker played really well. I think Lane Kiffin did an outstanding job with him. And obviously Derrick Henry had a Heisman year. But, this was still a team that measured against, some of these great teams of previous years. It did lose at home against the talented Ole Miss team, and then it barely beat, a good but not great Tennessee team at home. So I think you measure that up with the fact that it wasn't a great year in the SEC. Granted, Alabama's defense had something to do with that. I thought that's why they ranked kind of in the middle of the pack. I mean, I give them a lot of credit, the defense, for derailing the Fournette Heisman train, and as they did. But again, it wasn't like they faced a ton of great quarterbacks here along the way either.
Bruce, you mentioned Lane Kiffin, and certainly there have been a lot of stories and speculation that he would leave. The UCLA coordinator position popped up, came and went. Now there has been a little bit of speculation about NFL jobs, including San Francisco for the second year in a row. I realize everyone's trying to keep things down under with recruiting end in sight, but what are your thoughts on Lane Kiffin? Do you think he'll be back?
My gut is he probably will, and I think it depends on what Lane Kiffin wants to be at, where he wants to be a head coach at. And I think he probably would want to be a college head coach in the future. And with one more good year at Alabama, I don't think Minnesota have to win a national title. But I think he has done what he's done, especially this year at Alabama, has helped him big on 2 fronts. The first one is kind of, on the global aspect of it, and it's the perception of him. I think people around here in Southern California and people who know people who've worked with him always thought, okay, Lane Kiffin is a very good coach when it comes to football, especially, game planning and some of those things. And yeah, people can nitpick here and there. But what he was able to do with Jacob Coker, I think was really, really good. And I think it goes back to what he did last year with Blake Sims, who was a guy a lot of people had given up on before he got the job. And it also, kind of dovetails with the work he did with Jonathan Crompton at Tennessee, beyond just the stuff he did with some of the guys at USC. So that helps. But on the other end, and I think this is a big piece of it, is I think he really has developed there. Game, we talked about.
Help me help you is now another teamer is now number 1. Didn't see what happened. I want to go get some food, but guessing.
But he said, what I've learned.
The other guy, I forgot his name, smile face. Just deliberately fed him all the mass or whatever. I don't know. Probably. Let's see, we got Xavier on the leaderboard, Peyton Miller. So there's a lot higher mass to start out with, so the server is getting weaker, which is not such a good thing. It may be, it's a bit more competitive for sure. When there's more people on the leaderboard. as we see, help you potentially sabotage himself.
It's pretty crazy. Months
Yep.
after he left.
But
I think one more year around Nick Saban would do.
I guess he did on purpose. The team with
I don't
Jumbo.
think that would be a bad thing either, but I think that this would set him up to be in a better position because I think it's just on more AD's radar, and we see all these Nick Saban proteges going on to get head coaching jobs.
I hate to ask the obvious question, but what else does he really need to do to beat out some of the people that are getting head coaching jobs at respectable schools?
I don't think it's a matter of fit with the right jobs that come open. I mean,
Jumbo going to feed him again or what?
Smart has connections there. I think some of these other plays are not the big jobs.
Some people are so noobish, they got all this mass and they don't want to do it and lose it.
At Miami, for example, Mark Richt was played there.
Oh, well, Jumbo is the most OP name in this game. Like, so many people are named Jumbo, they think they're the shit or whatever, and they're just a bunch of 5-year-old whiny kids. And now Jumbo wants to team with Help Me Help You. We'll see if the purple guy gets him first.
Whatever it was, drama.
I don't know if he can eat that side of him.
And, I think so much of it is
anyway, he won't get a chance. So.
If you get the right AD, who's comfortable and really strong and not going to get sucked.
Maybe he won't.
This is what this search.
Not sure if Jumbo did that on purpose or he sucks that much.
I mean, I don't want to say he's
purple guy might should split now. Yeah, probably missed away.
He needed a certain kind of place, and no one questioned what he could do as an offensive mind. I mean, the results spoke for themselves. But he
will.
The case
if he's smart.
Washington State, and it was like kind of a one-man search committee.
Maybe not.
And I think that's probably more what Lane needs.
You're hoping he's going to try to split him, but still.
I do think for people who get to know him, he would present well on that.
I hate to say it, but really, the servers where everyone's teaming, they really kind of get boring after a while because you know who's going to get number one. There's no suspense to it or anything.
Season on a Monday night, that late October game, epic between Florida State and Clemson, that game in Tallahassee. Just looking ahead, and I know you can never look ahead too much, but as you on a list of top teams,
he lost interest.
Major contenders for the national championship in 16, where are you?
I think both Florida State.
You see a lot more people with like Fox avatars and even my Russian's gonna do than you did a few months ago, and that shows you that people are slowly building up their rank. They may only be able to play like 15 minutes a day, but it adds up over time. And this guy's teaming here.
For Clemson's offense comes back. It's just the defense that they lost 6.
Not sure what rank you have to be to achieve that sun-like thing. Or maybe you can just buy it or whatever. I don't know. Never have bought anything. I just let the avatars come to me.
Teams that should be in the playoff race.
Oh shit, I forgot. All 5 hours out. I'll be quiet. Let you hear the rest of it. And then I'll start gaming myself. Stop spectating for a while. So, there you go. I'll see y'all later.
Michigan's quarterback's going to be. We don't know who Alabama's is going to be. We think those teams are going to be, going to be in the thick of the playoff run. But I think those are the kind of wild card pieces. Whereas last year, everybody was like, hey, consensus number 1 Ohio State. Well, they didn't even make the playoff. So, I think that's what's going to be fun because now, going into this year, you have a lot of big names that are going to be going in for the, into the Heisman race right off the bat. Deshaun Watson, McCaffrey, Leonard Fournette, Dalvin Cook, Royce Freeman. It's a deep list. So this, it's going to be an interesting offseason to see how much there's the ramp up because I think you'll see it'll be pretty wide open what the top 5 is going to look like.
I saw some Vegas odds the other day, and Alabama is the favorite. And I realize you can just pick Alabama every year and be right 4 out of 7 years. But in the SEC, not that it matters now, but just looking at schedules, knowing the personnel, how would you handicap it?
I would start with Alabama. Whoever the new quarterback is going to be, they're going to inherit, a terrific tight end who's coming off a huge game in O.J. Howard. You're going to have a younger receiving core that's got more experience. I know they have to replace both running backs. You have a left tackle back. They're still going to be terrific on defense. To me, the biggest competition is going to come from LSU. I love what they did when they hired Dave Aranda. I think that's a big step for them on defense. They got a bunch of guys back. Normally, LSU